Yes, you read the right title right. Hitler's alive. Germany and Japan has won World War II, and it's the 1960s. So, how is this world going to be? Thankfully, it's not the reality, and it's the story, the premise of the story for The Man in the High Castle. You're watching Medley with Maddie. I'm Maddie Dawson. Welcome to another episode number 4 of Decrypting series. And the series today we're going to look at is The Man in the High Castle. Yeah, it's pretty unrelated, right? The title and the premise that you heard from me. Hitler is alive, and Germany and Japan has won the World War II, and they have colonized America, North America, basically the US, and that's the concept basically. So this series is adapted from a book, and I'm more intrigued to read the book now. The book does not have very good reviews, but the series is totally intriguing and captivating. I don't know how I came across this series. I think I would say this is one of the greatest series because after Breaking Bad and Dark, I was not satisfied with any series that I watched. And the only thing that came near to those standards were like none. And this was the only series that I could think, The Man in the High Castle. And as you heard from me, the concept is pretty unique. So it's an alternate history, and it's a different world where Germany and Japan, the Axis powers, have won over the Allies, and they have colonized US. So US has been segregated into two colonies, one for Germany and one for Japan. So the Japanese colony is called, I think, Imperial. Of course, so the American Reich. So Germany's colony is called American Reich, and there is a separate set of high-ranking officials who's governing. So it's pretty dystopian world. So the first season is like so mysterious, and you are kind of exposing the world that this is a world, this is a different reality where Germany and Japan has won the World War II, and they have colonized US. It's been like 20 years since the World War II. So it's happening in the 1960s, right? So America is under two different rules, the Japanese as well as the German. So you kind of see the difference how Japanese rule and the Germans rule. So it's pretty much same. It's dystopian, dictatorial. There is curfew, and people are not having much freedom. They are under, and there is a lot of racism, right? So Americans are being treated poorly. Like in German colony, Germans are given more importance, while in Japanese colony, the Japanese are given more importance than the Americans. So there is a revolt, rebellion, and then resistant groups. So this is the kind of setting. So it kind of looks like a historical, alternate historical periodical drama. But let me tell you, I'm going to give you a spoiler. That is not the case. So the first season is very mysterious because they kind of give some character. So the Man in the High Castle is kind of the main character. We do not know anything about him in the first season, and as the series progresses, we come to know that he is a person who makes videos and circulates to the general public, and he collects them back. So there are people who are out there trying to collect these videos, and what are these videos made up of? So they are not showing what's in these videos. So that is also mysterious. There are many mysterious elements, and over the course of one or two seasons, you come to know it's a science fiction. So it's basically multiverse, similar to Dark. So there are so many universe, and this is just one universe where the German and Japanese army has won the World War II. So there are multiple universes, and our world, like where we actually live in, where allies won the World War II, and there was no Hitler, no, after World War II. So it's also part of the universe, and basically the videos are being circulated across the universe. So it's not just something fabricated, but also collected from different universes. So that's a major spoiler for you, but I can't sustain that. I watched the series, and I've come here to decrypt and analyze the series. So it has pretty much everything that you need for the perfect score, like characters, as you can see. Let me play the trailer. Oh, I just forgot to play the trailer. Yeah, you can see the trailer behind me. So it has the characters, and very rich and diverse character, and the development for every character. major characters. And then the story, as I said, it's a very good story, right? It's an alternate historical periodical drama, and there's scope for everyone who's part of it. Even if you are playing one season, there's a huge scope to bag an award. It's that kind of series. And then concept, so like Nolan movies, there is a concept here, so it's multiverse. They have used the scientific aspect very much to its potential, and they've brought in along with this drama. So it's kind of this first two seasons is very mysterious. They are building the mystery like Dark. So Dark also began like a kidnapping, and then like what happened to the kid, and they go into the cave. So it's pretty mysterious. If you see all the greatest series, will have some mysterious elements, and this ticks off. Like the first two seasons is very mysterious. You kind of figure out like what are these videos. First of all, you want to know what's in these videos, who is the man in the high castle, where is he residing, what's his history. And there are like a lot of characters. So there are some characters in the Japanese colony, and there are some characters in the American colony. So I don't know who is the casting manager for this series. It's spot on, man. Like all the major characters have nailed the roles, especially the German. It's really difficult to pronounce their position. Shop. It's really difficult, and I tried to get the word, but the ranking official's name is really difficult to pronounce. And yes, this guy pretty much Rufus. I think his real name is Rufus, but he goes by the character name John Smith. So that's one name I would not forget. He's a high-ranking official in German, so his plot, his character graph or curve is like, he kind of respects and he's very loyal, devoted to the Reich, a German Reich, and he's a person who kind of follows the rules. But there is something happening in his family, like his own son is kind of being disabled. So in kind of the dictator's rule, people who are disabled have to be killed, and they have to be sent to execution. So there's a contradiction for him now. Like he has been a loyal follower and devotee of his party, and there is this one rule which basically negates or demands that a disabled person should be killed. Any person with disability or any kind of medical disorder have to be executed, and his own son is diagnosed with the kind of medical disorder. So what he does, so that's the emotional curve. Like when it comes to him, like he's a person who follows all the rules, but it has happened to his own son. So is he going to follow the rule and execute his son, or he's going to try to save his son, send somewhere? So that's the kind of character arc for every character. So it explores the emotional depths of every character. I loved it. I mean, the moment I started watching episode one, so it became like a everyday ritual for me, like trying to finish as many episodes as possible. I think I finished in 1 month, and it's pretty much as you all know, I don't watch movies or series nowadays. Pretty much I'm like Simpsons, Family Guy, so that's my schedule. Trying to pass my time whenever I'm having some food. So that's the kind of schedule I have. But to dedicate time for a series is really big task and activity for me, and this series demanded that. It kind of holds the audience, captivates them and then hooks them. Every episode ends on a hook. So all the check marks you will have. So how a nice series should start, and what all the mysterious elements should have, and when the mystery should be revealed, and how the characters must be developed, and what kind of arc they should have. So everything. And also concept. You have a concept. The core concept is alternate history, and there are multiple universes. So now bringing into picture, what if Germany and Japan has won World War II instead of the Allies, US, Britain, and France? Like, what happens? Like, what if? It's a concept of Marvel's What If movies, right? So they adapted it from book, but I think the movie is having more positive reviews than the book. The book is kind of slow, is what they're saying. But I would like to explore. I want to read the book now, having watched this now. So yeah, and technically, as you all know, it's a periodical. You can see the color grading and the editing and pretty much the subplots. So a series, a great series, would have a very good storytelling, and a very good storytelling must have a subplot. So as I said, there is not just one or two characters. There's so many characters. There is rebellion, and there is black as usual. Certain elements I didn't like, just for the sake they had kept diverse, like LGBT community. So I think it kind of was forced into the plot, which I didn't prefer. It was not natural. I felt it was kind of artificially engineered into the plot. But the diverse set of characters, like there are people, actors from Japan, German, US, and so that kind of, it's like it creates a different layer and dimension. And the Americans are revolting basically against both Japanese and German. So that's the premise. And the multiverse, how they are traveling between the multiverse, and what kind of technology Germany is building to control, and expand their power across the multiverse. So there's a lot of questions and mysteries as you watch. You never get bored. So I never felt bored except for the few shortcomings that I told. And I think certain characters were killed. So I didn't like that. So my favorite characters was this one German guy, like let me just recall his name. Uh, what's his name? They killed him off in the fourth season, I guess. He was really like a James Bond. I felt like he was a young James Bond. Luke Clean Tank, Joe Blake, yeah, Joe Blake. He's basically the first episode. Is the story starts with him. So I thought he's one of the main protagonists, but then they killed him off by five season 4 or 5. So it's just 5 seasons and 8 episodes, so totally 40 episodes, and you can actually finish it off in 1 month if you're viewing. And it has this hook, captivating elements, and it kind of enchants you with this mysteries across multiverse. So it's not commercially like Marvel, how Marvel explored multiverse. It's not like that. So they have done very good use of scientific aspects, and they have used it. The core element is, no matter how many universe or how many realities are there, so it's pretty much going to be the same things. There are minute subtle changes, but if your son, so for example, this German high ranking official, John Smith, his son is basically is diagnosed with a medical disorder, and he kind of voluntarily goes for execution because he's very loyal and devoted to the Reich, and like nationalist. So he kind of voluntarily goes to execution, and he gets killed in this reality. So in other reality also, it is kind of almost happening in a different way. Like he's gonna get killed, but in a different way. So the message is coming across from series is, no matter how many universe and how many series, there is always hope, but things are going to be the same. So I found it ironical, and loved the color grading as well as the costume design. So it's 1960s. There has to be a lot of visual effects and graphics that have to be. It was really good. They kind of saved Hitler's character. So he's not the main character. Hitler is not the main character. So he continues to live till the 1960s. And so basically, we kind of see aged Hitler. So there was season 2, I guess, season 1 or season 2. There is some build up leading to his scene. So he's basically having one major scene, and he's been shown as a, what do you say, prop in the entire series. But there is one episode where we confront him, and the viewers actually get to see him like an aged Hitler. Still, he's very formidable and very intimidating, and they kind of pulled off the character really well. But that's it. So the entire series is not about Hitler. So it's the concept of Germany and Japan winning the World War II, and how a world would be like if they had won the World War II, how that world would be. And they are like 20 years into the future, 1960s. So America is colonized, and they are like a lot of things happen towards the end. They are trying to destroy Statue of Liberty and construct their own monuments, based on German Reich. So all of these were really interesting, and frankly and honestly, this is one of the best series that I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I was so captivated. Like I didn't take my mobile out and start surfing, browser or something. I was completely hooked onto the series, watching it and decoding it, like how the shots were made. And yeah, some of the best characters. My favorite, I would say, Tagomi, John Smith, the Rufus Swell, the high-ranking official of German Reich in America. So he's badass. He's basically badass. I loved John Smith character, and his wife, Helen Smith versus Chella Hostal. So these are all new names. I never knew about these actors. Basically, I think they hired people from Germany, Japanese, Japan. So Inspector Kido, that is another badass character. So the casting manager, I don't know who took care of that. Every character, Juliana Crane, Alexa Davos, she's the main protagonist. So the whole story, the whole episode, I mean the whole series, 40 episodes revolves around her. So the acting performance that she has given is amazing. I mean, you can watch once more just to witness her acting. So she has her own transformation, like basically from being an innocent girl living in San Francisco under Japanese imperial rule to revolting against the Nazi and the Japanese, and then this couple of characters which are part of Japan and German rule, but they kind of feel for the American citizens, and they feel that it's not right we treat them this way. There are a lot of minor characters, but these three, like John Smith, Juliana Crane, and Tagomi, are my most favorite characters. And obviously, the first character, which I mentioned, Luke, Joe Black. So Joe Blake, yeah, I loved him. So, but they killed him off. So I was really sad to witness him die. And almost every character is memorable. They have made sure that they have, even though they have like 1 or 2 episodes screen time, they're going to be in your memory as well as they make an impactful performance. So it's bang on. It's that kind of series where the concept, the story, the storytelling, narrative, and the plots, characters, subplots, cinematography, production design, costume design, almost all the 24 departments of filmmaking kind of checks marks, and it's like a case study. So this is how we should make a periodical drama, like at the age of digital age where there are multiple OTT platforms, and people are like hungry for creative content, thrilling content. So where you kind of it's difficult to develop characters, right? So this particular series not only has a good captivating story, but also make sure that its characters are well developed and portrayed with powerful emotions and transformations, catharsis, everything. So I loved it. I would like to watch it again. And so I have not watched, what do you say, a plethora of series. I watched quite a lot of series. So as far as my favorite series goes, the number one would be Breaking Bad, number two would be Dark, and the number three is going to be The Man in the High Castle. So yeah, you can pretty much gauge like what kind of series it is when I put it alongside Breaking Bad and Dark. So do watch it, and I hope you enjoyed this Decrypting series. Do watch it. It's available in Amazon Prime subscription. If you have a subscription, it's going to be free, and it's 5 seasons and 40 episodes, and very enthralling plot after a long time. It's one of those good series out there. Do check it out, and yeah, see you in another live stream or video. Until then, you're watching Medley with Mary. I'm Mary Dawson. Bye bye.